Hi, my name is Matt Whitmire. I'm a facilitator here at Oaksterdam University.
John Brashon. I'm with a company called Meridian Pacific.
The Control and Tax Cannabis Initiative is a statewide initiative, and it would allow adults 21 and older statewide to possess a small amount of cannabis.
I tend to be against drugs pretty much on a whole.
Currently, California is a decriminalized state for cannabis, which means that the first offense is a ticket, essentially, for possession of less than 1 ounce. We're talking about removing that penalty, the ticketable offense, and allowing adults over the age of 21 to possess a small amount of cannabis and to also grow their own cannabis in the privacy of their own home. Currently, growing any amount of cannabis is a felony, and selling or distributing any amount of cannabis is a felony which could lead up to 2 years in jail.
We have personal, as every family has personal experience. I have a nephew who's 21 who died. Started out smoking marijuana, died of heroin overdose 2 years later. So, you know, you talk to the libertarians. I talk to libertarians all the time. They want to legalize everything. You know, I talk to a lot of liberals. They just want to legalize pot, you know, or let everybody smoke weed.
We should be able to have differences of opinions across the state and different styles of regulation. In fact, down in the South, you see wet and dry counties, for example, in states like Texas or Florida, in application to liquor laws. I think that that's a good method of organization for cannabis sales. Again, if we here in Oakland want to have taxed and regulated sales of cannabis, and some more conservative cities choose not to do so, as long as adults have that right to possess and consume cannabis as adults in a recreational sense, if the cities and counties decide not to have taxed and regulated sales, that is their decision.
We have had medical marijuana here in San Francisco. It was very controversial when it passed. I supported it. I don't think people should suffer unnecessarily.
Well, and just be honest about it. I think that the medical marijuana, it should be prescribed by a pharmacist, you know, not by pot clubs. They tried to build one down the street here in the county, you know. It's ridiculous. It's come on, let's just be honest with it, okay? Whether you're for marijuana or against marijuana, that's just, it's a loophole, you know, that you can say you have glaucoma and you can get a prescription, you can smoke weed.
Cannabis prohibition doesn't work. Anyone who wants to use cannabis knows where to get it. What we're doing is leaving an enormous amount of money on the table by not taxing this, and we're also wasting an enormous amount of resources on a prohibition regime which does not work. The State Board of Equalization here in California has estimated that by taxing and regulating cannabis, we could raise up to $1.5 billion per year in revenues for the state.
You know, look, I grew up in California, okay, so I understand the issue of it, but I do not think it should be legalized.
We're simply trying to state that that cannabis is safer than alcohol, that it makes sense to regulate it similar to the way that we do with alcohol, and allow adults over the age of 21 to use and possess small amounts of cannabis.
I think that issue has to go to the voters. It is going to go to the voters.
This is one of the biggest opportunities we have in having a realistic, common sense approach to cannabis. We can take it out of the criminal market and allow adults to use it, which is simply the right thing to do. We need to stop locking up adults for making their own decisions and making their own choices. So I would really encourage people to get involved, to volunteer, to donate, to make sure that they're registered to vote, that all of their friends and family are registered to vote.